Good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha and your brother Tad. And your brother Ashe SJ will be joining us shortly. Missed you all. Um, we were off last week. Um, Condolences again to Brother Tad and his family on the loss of their relatives, and condolences to my very own family on the loss of my relative last week. So we were busy on the home front, but we are glad to be with each and every one of you again this week. We have a lot to discuss, especially for those of us who reside in the New York City area. New York Supreme Court ruling as it relates to carry and conceal here in the state of New York. And so we'll get into all of that a little bit later. And tonight we are going to honor our black men, our brothers, our fathers, grandfathers, uncles, and friends and brothers in the community. Um, you know, Father's Day was Sunday. And so shout out to all the fathers this past Sunday. But it seems as though Father's Day was muddied, if you will, by all of the shenanigans with the LGBTQ and the blip of Juneteenth, the shenanigans with that too, as well. So we got a lot to discuss. So I'm glad to be back with you all this week. Stay tuned. Next week, we have with us, oh, also tonight, we're going to continue our discussion on Black music, some of our favorites, and hopefully some of yours, um, as we continue to celebrate Black Music Month. But um, I wanted to say that I wish all of us would take a moment and just think and reflect on how much we really need each other as Black men and Black women despite all of the rebel rousing that you may hear on social media and streaming platforms these days that are dead set um, on divisive tactics towards the black man and the black woman and the black family. And so tonight, I felt it would be honorable for Thorough Black Talk to honor our men, our brothers. So we got one right here, one who I love and respect. Um, a man who I've seen grow over the years and continue to grow despite life challenges. We have with us on the check-in our brother Tad. And all of you love and respect as well. So what's up with you, brother Tad? How you feeling?
Peace, peace, family. Well, sis, I love you too. I love you to life. Um, I'm just happy to be here. I'm glad that we're doing the show tonight just to talk about brothers. My sister and I always have this ongoing joke because my sister's starting a podcast with my other cousins, and she and I are going to do a joint together too about this the division amongst black men and black women in our community. Because the funny thing, she sees things her way, I see things my way. But we're siblings, so there's no romance involved. It's we teach each other and we grow. I am the older brother, and sometimes I got to check her. As the younger sister, and I love her to life. I love my sister Shonda to death. But yeah, because it is promoted on social media platforms. It's promoted in all the movies. I think we've been talking about this for years, though, Sister Keisha, you and I, in the movement we was involved with in the past. We've always brought these things up to the forefront. How Hollywood is shaping the fashion of black culture and how we relate to one another. Of course, we went over The Color Purple and all of the reality shows. And I think I mentioned when we was doing Blog Talk years ago that I was on Al Sharpton's show called Sharp Talk, which they never aired it. And we were talking about reality TV. Is it good or is it bad? And of course it was a reality show, so of course people are gonna say it's good, and I was to the contrary. Pardon me. I'm trying to catch up. I had a long day, but I had an opposing
You
view.
both. Don't worry about
I
it,
had
man.
an opposing view, So of course they didn't air it, but what we see now is what I predicted back in 2004, 2005. That we're going to be at each other's throats because we don't control the narrative on these reality shows. There's a script that goes along with it, not just the script that's written into the movies, but a script that's written for these reality shows. And we can date it all the way back to Norman Lear, with producing, I believe that was the Jeffersons, Good Times, and all of these other television shows
What's
depicting
happening?
what's happening, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
fast forward because they set the tempo to our young, impressionable minds. And they grow up with this view and this idea of what black men and black women are to each other. And it's just a sad state of affairs that as a community we just can't get it right now, you know. And I look forward into delving into this conversation, but most importantly celebrating our brothers, because like you said, this was Father's Day week and that got drowned out by Juneteenth and the LGBT shenanigans. So it's like, where is the safe space for black men? Mother's Day, we love black women. I mean, all the brothers I know do. They come from black women. Many of them, if not all of them, marry black women, dating black women. Daughters of young black women. So I don't know where people get this narrative from that black men don't love or protect black women. And in fact, I often see people quote Malcolm X in his speech when he said the most unprotected woman is the most unprotected person is the black woman, right? But what I want folks to understand that Malcolm is a skilled public speaker, and when you're speaking to your audience, you have to speak directly to your audience, And I think that was just to really address our sisters, to help them feel better, because we know a lot of our sisters were suffering. And I'm talking about back then, not so much as now. Even though sisters of the times always loved themselves, there's many sisters who love themselves. But when we look at police murders and things of that nature, and I think we cited when we were in Boston, shout out to our brother Salih, we were talking with the Black Lives Matter group. And I was stating that when white women couldn't work in this country, black women were working. When black men couldn't work in this country, black women were working. Black women have always been the backbone of this country, of everything we've done. And I know plenty of black men, if not all black men, have been protecting black women. But somewhere along the line, our sisters feel that they're not protected anymore. And I often ask, where's your father? Where's your brothers? Where's your cousins? Where's your uncles? Where's grandpa? You know, and many of them say, well, my uncle's this, sometimes they give good words. But for the most part, it's just the narrative that everybody's echoing. That's not our own. Dr. Clark said we can't win this war with half the army. Black men and black women should not be fighting each other. We don't always have to agree. We don't always have to be lock and step in daily living. But when it comes to functioning in this society together as a group, we can't be at odds. We can't have brothers in the manosphere or multicultural over there knowing our struggles are different than the Asians and the Europeans and the Hindu Indians. Just like our sisters' struggles are different from those cultures. So when they want to sign up to feminism and all that stuff, and they be talking about women's live, that's not our fight. That's not our fight. Our fight is for black people. I had a conversation today, and I'm gonna pass the mic with a Urugu on the job, a liberal. Just trying to help them understand. You say all that, and that stuff sound nice, but as a black man in America, we still haven't been compensated for our labor in this country. Plantation owners were compensated for the loss of their kidnappees. They were compensated. Afghanis, as recent as last year, come to this country and get set-asides. They get money. This year it's the Ukrainians. They get money. Where is our money for all that we've done for this country? As great as people want to say that it is. So you can't tell me about playing kumbaya and this multicultural thing when me being a black man in America watch generation after generation get destroyed by this system that everybody thinks is so great, pumping drugs, gangster rap, homosexuality, disease, all kind of pestilence. They pump that into our community intentionally. And only 10, 20 years later, we find out that it was done intentionally. But you don't have to tell us. We know these folks better than they know themselves. But when I hear people want us to kumbaya and things like that, no, no, no. We in this by ourselves. We don't have no friends. But then when we get together and start infighting, oh man, that's a recipe for disaster. And we got to be mindful of that. So I'm glad today we're going to talk about some brothers, positive brothers that influence a lot of us to do great things in our community and within our families, you know, because that's where I like to start. I like to do great things within the family, then the community. We need our priorities in order. You don't have to be the most popular speaker at a rally or a lecture. Just do right by your family and you'll be okay. Because those will be the one that can speak to your character and who you really are, you know. Granted, not all family members going to hold you in the highest regards, but that's life. That is life. You read your Bible, even Jesus' siblings didn't believe he was the Messiah. So he had to leave town. Same thing with Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Nobody believed him in New York, so he had to go to California. But nonetheless, these people, whether they're fictitious or real, whether you agree with them or not, they're living out their purpose and walked in their greatness. And that's what you have to do. You know, walk in your greatness. Same thing for Malcolm, you know. Many people didn't believe that he could change. Some people thought it was a con. But no, he's walking in his greatness. And we all can do that, you know, we're divine by design. So we ain't got nothing to worry about. But I'm going to step off my soapbox, sis.
Love it. Everything that you said is right and exact. And shout out to everybody on the check-in. I want to go back real quick to Brother Salih. Shout out to Brother Salih, who is a father in the community, if you will, with his program, Young Lions. You know, I've seen some of the presentations that he and others have done as far as those young men are concerned. And so I want to continue to salute Brother Salih and the work that he's doing in the city of Boston, because we all know, you know, we need all hands on deck. You know, I took the hubby out because not only was it Father's Day, but it was also his Earth Day. So I took him out for the weekend. The whole weekend. But an event that we went to, I'm telling you, our people are suffering
What
out
happened?
here for real,
What happened at the event?
brother. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it. I had to hold my composure, and I was trapped because we was on a boat. So you gotta wait till the boat come back. You understand what I'm saying? It's
Mm.
not like I could bounce and leave. But it was some shenanigans. I'm glad you mentioned you speaking with the Black Lives Matter crew who tried to disrupt a private event that was hosted by Straight Black Pride Boston. And I got that video. So I want y'all to listen to Brother Tad try to go in now. Excuse Sister Keisha who's standing in the background
Ready to throw.
because that was a safe space for me. So I didn't go to the penitentiary in Boston. I just kept saying if I lose it and my husband got to come all the way to Boston with the bail money, he gonna be pissed off. So I better stay cool. Let Brother Tad handle this. So that's what we did. And shout Brother Salih was tight too. He was tight too. So the Leos in us, you know, we don't got time for the BS. We are very upfront, very direct. That's how we operate, you know. But I'm gonna show this clip real quick, family, and check this out. How Brother Ted tried to, how would you say? What would I say? Uh, talk to this. Never mind. Let me just play the video. Let me just play the video. Hold on.
wrong ideas that we have. We have people who come in trying to cause dissent. We don't want that. It's kind of like if somebody comes into the church and they're an atheist, and then they want to scream that you're preaching Jesus, but we don't. No, I hear you, but what? Not saying that that's you. Okay. So that would be my question too. What were we doing to cause dissent? No. Not saying that you did. Okay. Not accusing you of that. I'm just saying that we sort of have to be protective of our community, but who we allow in, and not my children. My
the whole thing is this. As the sister said, we're protective of our young people. We don't show up at LGBTQ meetings because that doesn't involve us. Though, I think our brother laid it out pretty much well. People with different ideas can represent us. But what we are truly concerned about, we don't live in this we are the world utopia. We're not trying to get along with everybody. This is for people who are clear, not people who are confused. So when we say straight black pride and y'all say media, the biggest attacks have actually come from black media. From black media. Okay. The biggest attacks on straight black pride has come from black media. And the problem is, what is the threat of a black man loving a black woman to produce black children? How is that a threat? But see what it is, a lot of people who think they're intelligent really don't understand the history between Africans and European people. And then we take it a step further because a lot of black people don't even identify with being African. So here's where the conflict comes in. We have to ask, if you're part of a black organization, who does it allow? What are the ideologies? What is the mission statement? What is the end goal? Are you for integration or separation? And these are the things that make it as plain as day. It's either A or B because there is no.
Well, I would just assume it as independent black media that would mean that we're trying to separate ourselves from the machine, from the ideologies, systematic things that disenfranchise our people. So independent and black, right? We're independent and black. We don't rely on nobody. We tell our own stories. That's our point. So that's what I'm just trying to say.
No, I agree with that because we all out here have a media company, which is funny. And this is why we say here's where the contradiction comes in, because some black independent people aren't straight, nor are they proud to be straight. So when they come in, they always have their slang. They throw in words like hetero, with a heteronormative. They say cisgender, homophobia. Because I like black women. I have black daughters. So I think black women should always be protected. But when we talk about black men taking true stances, strong stances, that becomes a threat to the system. But many people don't understand all they are chocolate-covered Europeans. The language sounds good. I realize people got this language down packed. They make up words, use big words. They learned in these fancy colleges. But the fact of the matter is that they're not authentic in their position in terms of what it is to get free from under this yoke of white supremacy. We keep talking about we're fighting police brutality, we're fighting the sexual discrimination. Sexual discrimination hasn't really been black people fight because since we've been brought here, since we've been stolen and brought here, black women have always been working. From the slave ships to the white man's kitchen, when white women couldn't work, black women were working. When black men couldn't work, white women were working. But we have to stop adopting European women's conversation. That's their language. But black people, we meet people along the way. Some of our parents weren't as revolutionary as we would like to think. So they start planting seeds of Negroism in our mind, for lack of better. Can I use, is that the word Negroism? That sounds like a word. Yeah. And then we just think that resisting, stick it to the man and F the police. We think that's liberation struggle. We think that's fight. It is so much more. One of the first things we have to do is replenish the planet with our people because we're dying by the millions. We're dying, and it just didn't start with Mike Brown or Trayvon Martin or Emmett Till. It didn't start with the first African brought on the good ship, Jesus. This thing has been going on longer than you or I can even imagine or fathom. But once we start being clear that we have to start loving our people more than we hate our enemies, and trust me, we hate our enemies. But we love our people more. But how much can we love our people if I don't find love in a black woman? How much love do I have for my people if I'm not going to sleep with a woman at all to produce more black people that I say I love so much? We don't see the contradiction and the flaw in our ideology because the rhetoric sounds so good. We ain't never heard it before. The reason why we never heard it before, because it never works and it's stupid. But I'm gonna step off my soapbox. I'm sorry, I just get passionate about it. Because as a straight black man, I am so proud to be a father. I am so proud that my parents are proud of me. I am so proud that my grandparents are proud of me. And my children always say, that's my dad. They love saying that. I come to their school, Dad, my friend said, you cool. I like that. I'm an old dude. And the kids still find me cool. But you know why? I give them authentic truth. I don't give them ideology or idealism that's not practical and applicable to day-to-day survival, because that's what our children need. They need to get out of this utopia of everybody's going to get along, because that's not the truth. Lions and hyenas both live in the jungle, don't they? But they fight every chance they get. They fight because they know that we're fighting for resources. Black people no longer fighting for resources. Then we wonder why we're economically depressed in our community. But I'm a little bit older than some people out here. I can remember when there were all black stores. I'm talking about the corner store, the stick, everything was owned by us. So we always talk about we want to stop crime in our community, but we don't create economic opportunities for our young people. But when you look at what they're locked up for, drug dealing, robbing, stealing, crimes of resources. But then we have to peel back the lens and take it back a little further. Who stole the resources from us in the first place when we was the first land? That come from the land of plenty. We keep getting caught up in this trick bag that these people keep setting up for us because the sexual revolution has never been our problem. We've never been a problem with being attracted to black women. If God made anything better than the black woman, he kept it for himself.
Show me where that.
So when we talk about, and I heard y'all ask the brother a question about some dude who beat up on his sister, we don't consider that a straight man.
That's right.
Even if he's never been involved with another man sexually. If you find strength in beating on weaker people, harming children, harming women, harming elderly, you are not a straight man.
That's right.
And any straight man, any strong heterosexual man can tell you that.
Yes, that's right.
Any strong heterosexual man will tell you that.
He's black man.
So we got to stop misidentifying people.
That's right.
Talking about, yeah, this man, he's not a man. You harm a child, you are not a man. You harm a female, you are not a man. But I'm going to tell you something about straight black pride that I do know. You want anybody over there, this brother, we have no problem with working through God's will. God works through the hands of men. You want righteous justice? Let somebody harm these children.
I ain't that conscious.
We have no problem with putting hands on people. Because when you talk about strength and power, the ultimate force on this planet, the ultimate force is violence.
That's 28.
It's violence. When you can't get no.
So there you have it. And that was several years ago. Brother Tad diplomatically explained the position of
I
black
knew the rest
men,
of y'all wanted to
black
fight. That's why I had to do that.
Yes.
The rest of y'all wanted to fight. Brother Salih said, I ain't that conscious. And I
I'll
don't
knock
think
you
nobody
out.
wants to smoke with Brother Salih. Woo.
But I played that, family, and shout out to everybody. Shout out to Sister Marie. She said that's where, I originally saw y'all from that video, and someone directed me to Thorough Black Talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sis.
We try. We even had, a code of conduct session with certain people. So when I hear this narrative that, black men aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, black men aren't active in the community and their families, I'm like, what black men are you talking about? What are you talking about? And how do you paint everyone with a broad brush? Yeah, you got fools out here, but you got fools in both genders, male and female. What I saw Saturday, let me tell you, some craziness going on out here. There's craziness going on out here. And so again, I thank you, Brother Tad. That girl should thank you for coming out there and talking with her and saved her from a behind whooping.
Yeah. I felt, and to the audience, y'all weren't there. We're not exaggerating. That was the energy. Did y'all, when you caught a glimpse of Sister Keisha, if you're from Brooklyn, you know that stance she had. Just one word away from a punch in the mouth. That's why she just stepped back. I was looking at, but I enjoyed it because I realize a lot of our people operate out of ignorance, part one. And part two, people don't realize we don't get paid to do this work. We do not get paid to do this work. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And the money that is made go right back into the next event, the next movement, whatever, whatever, whatever. It's just money that goes right back into the kitty to put on the next event, to do the next thing for the people. We do not get paid for this stuff. And it is a thankless job, you know. As Sister Keisha said, people always talk about we're the good men, we're the good men. There are so many brothers working in the community, working at their jobs, working with their families. They're not in the clubs all the time. They're not at the bars. They're not hanging out on the corner all the time. You might catch me on the corner occasionally, ministering to the folks, being the living example. I could still stand amongst the people, just like Malcolm, just like Dr. King. You go where the people are. Because too often we preach to the choir. We have this message of liberation, but we keep talking to the people who already know this. We need to introduce this information to the people who don't know, but not judge them. You know, so brothers are out here working it out in whatever capacity they can. You know, we used to get into, well, not me so much, but a lot of brothers get into it, the Hebrew Israelites or the Nation of Islam, whatever, whatever. But when you talk to them brothers one on one, I think they all want the same thing, and that's freedom for Black people. Now, however we identify with ourselves, that's the point of contention right there. Because I'm not putting on no leather do-rag and spike cuffs. That I'm not doing. You know, but if there's anything to help our people be better in terms of our conduct and how we relate to each other and treat each other, I'm all for it. And when we were with Straight Black Pride, we didn't let those little differences stop us from helping and educating our people. Because the one thing we did realize is that we were a group, we are still a bunch of very intelligent people. And a lot of people that we encounter haven't done as much research and travel as we have. They haven't really worked with the master teachers and the elders. I think Sister Keisha worked with just about every elder or master teacher and freedom fighter that you can think of. You know, I came into the movement through Dr. Khalid Muhammad and met so many other people, you know, and making my own mark, you know, because I can't be Malcolm, I can't be Dr. Khalid. I just have to be Brother Tad, and I have to be my authentic self. And I'm from the hood, right off Fulton Street, you know, and I'd rather take this message to the people that need it. But what does hurt me is that when we try to give our people this information, they're so they're not as receptive as you would think our people should be, but they're quick to gravitate towards negativity and say there's no good men out here, or brother's not doing this, brother's not doing that. And I haven't met a perfect person yet. Not one person. I ain't met one perfect person yet. But I have met a lot of people with good intentions that just want to do right by our community, you know, really make sure we have a safe community for ourselves. Because for all of us that live in gentrified neighborhoods, I'm quite sure everybody can attest that it's summertime now in our communities and it don't look like summertime. You don't see children playing in the streets, and you don't see elders in the window anymore, even sitting on their stoop getting a nice breeze. We don't even know our neighbors anymore. It's at one point we grew up, we knew everybody lived in every house on the block. We knew their visitors. But that's when you know you were part of a village. Our village has been separated by ideas and thoughts and rhetoric. And it's unfortunate that we still propagating this foolishness by having in-house fighting to where men and women no longer get along, you know. But I'm gonna step off my soapboxes.
Facts. Everything you said is right and exact. You know, as I said, and now, you know, it's even getting to the point, Brother Tab, where you have people who questioning their relationships with each other as far as black men and women are concerned because they allow the chatter to come into their spaces. And I'm one for keeping chatter out of my damn space.
Yes. Hmm.
You want to know what works for Sister Keisha and Brother Rowan? We keep chatter out of our space.
Now, how long you been married, Sister Keisha?
It'll be 24 years in December.
4 years. That's a blessing.
In December.
So it's funny you say that because, and I think I mentioned this before, But my mother told me that years ago. Now, her and my stepfather got married in 1987. I think they got together in 82 or 83. Somewhere around there, my mother and my stepfather met, got together. They got married in between 82 and 84, somewhere around there. Early 80s. I was still a little dude. Always knew my pops was, like he ain't never leave me. So we just knew that was my mother's new boyfriend. That's all that was. Good dude. Stayed with my mother till her dying day. In fact, she died in her husband's arms. That's real love. I grew up in that house, and seldom, if ever, have I heard an argument, let alone did he have to leave and take a break. Because I know my mother used to get on my nerves, God bless her, but I'm a son. Mothers are supposed to get on their kids' nerves. But never did he even take a break and leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that was a marriage. That's something I think everybody should aspire to. And looking at you and Brother Rowan, it sounds like that's exactly what y'all have. That good old fashioned relationship, that good old fashioned love that stand the test of time. Everybody wants that, but nobody's developing themselves to receive that. Because I'm not just going to put it on the brothers. I'm not just going to put it on the sisters. It's up to each individual to turn themselves into that person they want to be within that relationship. You know. So what I
Facts. And learn the person that you're with.
right.
I can't stress that enough. What works for
Not to learn
you
the person,
may
yeah.
not work for me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You have to be in communication and learn the person that you are with. So
I was going to say real quick is
go ahead, brother.
to your point that my mother said. She said when her and my stepfather first got together, one of her friends tried to come tell her something about my stepfather. And she said she didn't want to hear it. And she was like, but Peaches, wait, you don't want to. She said, if I didn't see it, I don't want to hear it. She said, and she told me this, as I was getting older. And I always heard her say it anyway. But she was like, that's how you make your relationship work. Don't listen to people outside of your relationship because people will see you happy and don't want to see you happy. Or people will see things and it may not be what they think they see, and they'll put their own skewed lens on it. And I'm going to tell you, every person that was my mother's friend, I watched them in and out of relationships. And my mother and my stepfather has been together till her dying day, till death literally did them part. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, it's so real because I don't know if I shared with you, but before my mother passed, and this is a little personal, but I'll share with the audience. Before my mother passed, what prompted me to call her one more time, it was a Monday night, and I had a dream that my stepfather died. And it hurt me real bad. I had a deep pain in my heart. And I didn't understand it because I love my step pops, but that pain was so deep. So I called my mother to ask, was everything all right? And she was like, yeah. She's like, Grandma's all right. Fred is all right. That's her husband. She's like, I'm just waiting to, come see you next month. She's like, I can't wait to come because she was coming in 3 weeks to see me get an award. And that was Tuesday morning because I had the dream Monday night. Saturday night, she passed away. And when I got the phone call, it was just as my dream was like when I got the call as my stepfather. So in essence, the universe was telling me that somebody was going to die. It wasn't going to be my mother, my stepfather. It was going to be his best friend, which was my mother. And I have a friend that I call who interpret dreams and things like that. She's good with numbers and stuff. So I called like, yo, what does that mean? Because the pain was so deep, Sister Keisha. I couldn't understand it. So I called my friend in North Carolina, like, yo, what does this mean? And she really couldn't explain it. So when my mother did die, I sent her a text, are you awake? Remember my dream? She said, no, I'm not awake, but yes, the dream about your stepfather. What about it? And I said it was actually my mother. She said, what do you mean? I said, my mother died. And it's Sister Keisha, it's hard when you first got to say it. You know what I'm saying? But once they go, they say when an elder passes, a library goes with them. But she imparted so much knowledge and wisdom on me that it's amazing because she developed me to the man I am. My father gave me my love and nurture and passionate side, which is crazy because it's normally the other way around. My mother was stern. She would always tell me, Tad, I'm not going for your BS. And she wasn't a cursor. She didn't curse much, but if she said a curse, you knew she was serious. you know. So when we talk about men, I'm always going to talk about the man that I am, that people love and respect, that I'm still developing myself into. I give all that credit to my mother, and all my shortcomings I take for myself, because my mother always said, Tad, when you right, I'll go to bat 100% for you, but I can't support you if you're wrong. Remember the first time I got locked up, she looked at me, told the cops, keep him. I was like, Mom. She's like, I told you, I'm not, you're wrong. I can't support you. So you'll learn. And I swear, Sister Keisha, I was 18 and I was epiphany, like, I'm really on my own. But in the hood, I had homies who mothers would go to hell for them. Like, not my baby. He ain't do that. He ain't do that. My mother always told me a mother knows her child. They told her what I did. She said, yeah, that sound like him. Keep him. And I thank her for it, because it taught me the main characteristics of a man, and that's responsibility. That's the only thing that makes a man, responsibility. Not who you can beat up, not how many girls you can get, not how much money you got. Responsibility. You create something like a life or a child, you take care of it. You're responsible for it. You destroy something, you take care of it. You be responsible for that. And that's what she taught me. Responsibility is what makes a man. So I'm appreciative of her. So that's why it's hard for me to jump into this divide of black men versus black women, because, I got you, I got Sister Tam, I got my mother, I have my grandmothers, I got my sisters, my cousins, and I got some ratchet folks in my family. Let's not get it twisted. My family ain't perfect, but for the most part, the majority of the women that I spend time with in my family and in my circle are good, respectable women, decent women, wholesome women. You would think they don't make them anymore, but they do. Y'all are out here. So that's why it's hard for me to get into that, women ain't this and women ain't that. Because I've known some women that have made mistakes too. I mean, like I said, I haven't met a perfect person yet, but you make your mistake, you learn, you grow, and you move forward. But it's unfortunate that with these pocket computers called cell phones, we got access to all type of foolishness, and people just buy into
Facts.
it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So, I don't have a crystal ball as to what, you know, are the keys to a successful relationship. I just know what works for us. And as you said, your mother knew what worked for her and her husband. You know what I'm saying? And it seems that, like I said, there's so much chatter that people don't know what they want. So I'm going to play an old clip. Shout out to Brother Quasi, where I talk about black love a little bit. And so hold on, family. We're going to play this clip real quick and then we'll come right back and discuss it. How many of y'all ask the question in a straight relationship? Raise your hand. Monty and Joyce, Aoife, who else in a straight loving relationship? Raise your hand. Mike, Tiff, this brother right here, what's your name, brother? Cap. All right. How many of you who raised your hands are married? Brother in the back, how many years, brother? 5 years. Sister Tony, how many? She got a count out here. 12. Don't go on 13. Woo! Now, that's 3 married couples. Again, I'm the scene. The majority are not married. The majority are not in straight, black, loving relationships. Guess what? You are out of sync. And I'm going to tell you why you're out of sync. First of all, society dictates to you what manhood is, what womanhood is, and how you should act in the two, or how you should behave. Society also dictates how you should love, what that feeling is. It's learned behavior. The problem with you all today is that you don't spend enough time with people who are in long, lasting, black loving relationships. See, me, before my mother died, she and my stepfather were married for 30 years. Right? My biological father was murdered a month before I was born. She was married to him. My aunts and uncles been married 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So I have a blueprint. I also have a connection with the women who are older than me in my family and the men separately who are older than me in my family. So I know from a woman's perspective what you should expect. From a male's perspective, I know what I should not tolerate. So when you get into a relationship, you have to be able to sit down with a partner who you deem you want to have a relationship, marriage, whatever it is with, and have these serious discussions.
She my dad's fault, allowing me to take the lead, not her.
So that was about 6 years ago. I don't have a blueprint. I just study those who came before me. On May 24th, we laid to rest my Aunt Gwen, who was married to Uncle Jack for 50 years.
Mm.
So I have a blueprint. My uncle just passed away on Thursday, last week Thursday. Shout out to my Aunt Pauline and my cousin Joanne. Um, Aunt Pauline and Uncle Buddy together over 60 years. Uncle Buddy was a leader in the family. He married into my family. So that means the women in my family have to choose correctly, right? Because as their brothers pass on, it is the married uncles that take on the role of leadership, of kingship in the family. So whenever Uncle Buddy was around, he was pulling up on everybody. We got pictures of him hugging around the children and everything. He wanted to know everything that you were doing, everything that you were into. He wanted to know about it. Never judgmental in his approach, but always direct in his approach to find out what was going on with his nieces and nephews, in particular his nieces. So I had a nickname for Uncle Buddy. I called him Captain Crunch. And that's because whenever I would spend the night at his and Aunt Pauline's house in Farragut Projects, um, he would let me watch wrestling all night long, and then he would have my box of Captain Crunch for me in the morning to have for breakfast. But until he took his last breath, I always referred to him as Captain Crunch. And that's because he is a captain in this family. So we're going to miss him. We have lost a giant in our family. He was a Jegna to the younger uncles in the family. Most of the pictures I have with him, and shout out to Uncle Dragon, Uncle Jesse, and shout out to Uncle Sonny. Happy Father's Day to y'all. But most of the pictures I have with Uncle Buddy, you see Uncle Jesse sitting on the side of him, learning, learning. Every event, every family gathering, they're right there at his side, learning. And you couldn't come in the house. They would go into their man cave. You know what I mean? But you come in the house, you better find where they at, and you better pull up, and you better tell them what's going on. Don't let them have to come out and look for you, because there's gonna be a problem. You understand? Aunt Pauline is the type. And shout out to Aunt Pauline. I'm gonna see her tomorrow, but she is the type. She gonna grab your cell phone and go through your cell phone because she want to see what y'all up to.
Mm.
You understand? And she 83 years old. Who gonna say something? Who gonna say something? You understand what I'm saying? You will get G checked in a minute. You know. So again, the manhood that I've seen, my Uncle Bob, you know, the manhood that I've come up with in my family was supreme. Supreme. The day my mother left this world, Uncle Sonny calls me every week to find out what's going on. My mother's baby brother call every week, not just me, but my sisters as well, to find out. And we're grown women, 40s and 50s, but he still calls to find what's going on with us. You know, with things I was doing in the movement, Brother Tad will tell you Uncle Sonny will pull up in a minute
Yep. Shout out
because
to
he want to know what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know where this chatter is coming from. It has to stop. We have to do better as far as interacting with one another. We can't survive without one another. And I'm going to tell you one thing for certain. The man who I sleep with every night, you know, my ride or die, I would be lost in this world without him, for real. For real. And he will tell you the same thing, babe. You know, when we found out about Uncle Buddy, he's like, I don't know what I would do without you. I just don't know. I don't know. So again, family, you know, don't let these people get in your head and try to pit you against one another. You know, we have to do better. You know, we all come with problems. Coming up in a white aggressionist system, we all got our problems. So we got to work through them. Now, if you're dealing with a nut, I can't help you. I don't do nuts, you know. And that's another thing, too. That's why, you know, I say this all the time. I am the way that I am because of the men in my family. Like they not playing. So they give me the battery in my back to do whatever the hell I want to do, say what I want to say, when I want to say it, and how I want to say it. So if you don't like how it comes out of Sister Keisha, blame them. Blame them. So, you know, but I want you all, as we go through the night, you know, if you can, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Y'all come on and give a shout out to that special man or special men in your life. I see we got our brother Blacksmith on the check-in. What's good with you, brother Black? How you doing?
Okay.
You gotta unmute yourself, brother.
My bad. I said, how y'all doing? What's up? Long time no see.
We good, brother. We good, brother Black.
Yeah, I love what y'all talking about. So until I get asked a question, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm gonna listen.
I'm about to ask you right now. You know, like I said, with all of the chatter that's going on in the manosphere, womansphere, and whatever you want to call it, I don't even know today. But who are some of the great black men in your life?
In my life personally, a lot of my uncles, none of them famous. You know, my family from Honduras, so they don't believe in you know, they not trying to, you know, fight for Juneteenth or reparations or none of that. I'm the, you know, loose wing in my family. But a lot of people in my life, I was fortunate to live in Harlem when the last days of Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, and you know, those people like that, you know, the leaders of the movement. I'm glad I got to see Steve Coakley speak, people like that. Khalid Muhammad, Bobby Hemmett, on and on and on, all those people. And a lot of personal people in my life too that ain't famous or anything, you know, neighbors, you know, we come from them days when we remember when the elders saw you cutting up in the street, you was about to get cut up when you get home. So that kind of thing. And you knew it was coming, you know what I'm saying? My mom used to, you know, let me get comfortable, hold on and all this and that. She used to wear rings. I turn around, pop, my speed not hitting the wall before my head do.
That's what's up. So you mentioned like Dr. Clark and Dr. Ben.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, why were they monumental to you? Is it because of their teachings, the information that they give, their accessibility to community? What was it?
All of it. They definitely got this started. And, you know, we are now the Dr. Clarks and Bens and Charshi McIntyres and all them people who need to be out here espousing, you know, we basically they were more historians and they were academics, if you will. We're more like all around scholars because we learn from them. We learn from, you know, the people who are still alive now, who are a little older than us, like Phil and Bobby, maybe one or two others or something like that. Shout out to Miss Marie Raymond. She shouted me out. She said Blacksmith is in the house. I just, you know, that's self plug and for her as well. But you know, just manhood as a whole. You know, one thing we never, people we never shout out is all the men out there who decided to take on a family, forget about a child, and make it their own and love that family and become part of that family stronger than any, you know, actual blood related people inside the family. So shout out to them too, because you know that's a heavy burden. Just that. Forget about whatever else you're doing in life. You know, just that piece. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful to hear about some of your uncles and some of the people that came before you, you know, that loved on the family and kept in touch and know who's doing what. You know what I'm saying? I tried to be that with my family, try to be a plug, but you know how it is in this day and age. If you like us, you know what I'm saying, your information ain't necessarily wanted in most settings. So
I feel you, brother. I feel you on that. And it's good to know, some of the great master teachers that we've had come through our community,
yes,
teaching
ma'am.
our people um, information, history, logic, mathematics, language, investigative, well, as Steve Coakley would say, hunter investigation. Um, to know all of them is an honor in itself.
Yes, ma'am.
As Brother Tad said, he came through with Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. It was nothing here in New York to see him walking up and down the street, building with people on the block. And again, that to me is needed now more than ever.
Right.
Now, Tad mentioned the creator of Good Times earlier, Norman Lear. Well, actually, he wasn't the creator; he was the thief.
Mm,
He was the thief.
right.
Brother Monty, I think his name Eric Monty.
Eric
Yes.
Monte. Yeah.
Yes. He was the creator of Good Times and what's happening and all of that.
Right.
Um, Now Norman Lear, Family Matters.
Right.
Norman Lear, he projected an image of what black manhood and what black family was based on his ideal, which was buffoonery. And so a lot of the casts who worked with him were very disturbed, and knew what was going on, challenged him on that. In fact, I believe James Amos from Good Times was a strong um, advocate for strong black manhood, along with Esther Rowe.
Right.
She demanded that she have a husband, playing this role. Her coming off of, I believe, Maud. She
Yeah,
was the
more.
housekeeper. So then getting the spinoff, they always have this narrative that we don't have strong black men in the households. You look at these reality shows today, and just about every black male, make that distinction, every black male on these shows are homosexual. And any straight black men they deem as being mean, aggressive, angry, or the like. So for us to have grown up and be able to see the images of real black manhood is very special, because today in this world of media, they trying to do everything they can to not show black men in a positive light. Even this past Father's Day, try to brush it, brush it by, if you will.
You know what killed me, Keisha? A few years ago, there was, you remember that TV show, Two and a Half Men? Okay, there was a show,
Yeah.
and now I was so pissed when I saw this. It was a show. It was Two and a Half Men, and John Amos was dating a white guy that he was in the army, in the military with, who the dad his oh, and the guy was white, you know, older guy like John Amos. They were gay. They were a gay couple living together, and Charlie Sheen, the main character, was dating the white guy's daughter and having problems with her. So he would go talk to her dad, who's now in a gay relationship with John Amos. And when I saw that, it was like they broke his back, because the John Amos from the 70s or early 80s would have, you know, he even played older Kunta Kinte in Roots. So, you know, we know he knows something, you know what I'm saying? By virtue of the fact of being in a show like that, you're going to learn something and want to, or at least I would think, want to learn more about what this slavery thing is all about. Because, you know, as far as I was concerned, I was bought and sold and nothing else. And then we got free one day because Master let us go. So just a little tidbit in there. Yeah.
And I think that speaks to the point that we were making earlier on how a lot of our behaviors that we see today is manufactured by people outside of our culture.
Right.
You know, because with them playing Kunta Kinte and James Evans, you know, we always see them as a strong, proud black man. In fact, I think we all could remember that a couple of years ago, there was a meme that had 4 black men as fathers: him, Carl Winslow, Uncle Phil, and Bill Cosby. And they said, you know, it's something about what kind of father would you be, or what kind of father you have, which one was the strongest father. And in terms of strength, it was always James. It was always James, which is funny because he was introduced on Maude. And this is how they do it, because remember, with Hollywood, everything was a spinoff.
Right.
So Good Times is a spinoff of Maude, where James was introduced. And there his name was Henry, and he was a firefighter.
Wow.
You know, and she was a housekeeper, he was a firefighter. So they was an employee couple, Henry Evans and Florida Evans. But they changed his name to James. But they always do these spinoffs, and then they rewrite scripts to kind of how can I say it, to navigate the times, to script the times. As we know, the Jeffersons was a spinoff of All in the Family.
Right.
And I think Maude was a spinoff of Soap. It's just so much how all of these things are related. So you really don't have a choice in what you ingest in terms of the media back then.
Right.
Because it was the writers. It was him and Aaron Spelling were big producers and writers. Aaron Spelling did Love Boat, and I think he did Fantasy Island also. You know, I was a TV at Charlie's Angels, things like that. So what they do is write the scripts and manufacture behaviors in society, because how the television work, it's not interactive. It's a programming tool. It tells you what to do. It's called sitcoms for situation comedies. They give you a situation, laugh at it, and give you the solution by the end of the show. Whether it's talking about racism, poverty, sexism, thievery, whatever the situation is, they are scripting the solution as if there's not other alternatives or other solutions. But since it's mass produced, mass media, we're all being under mass hypnosis, and we really don't get it, because we see that incident like, oh, how did they resolve it on Different Strokes? Well, Mr. Drummond came in and fixed it. Okay, let's find us a rich white man and he'll make our problems go away. How did they fix it on Give Me a Break? Chief Kaniski came and you know, with Nell being the mammy. You know, it's like when you follow television and media, as Amos Wilson said, he says superficially things have changed, but fundamentally it's still the same.
Pretty much.
And we recognize it because we don't know what racism is. You know, that's why Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. wrote the compensatory book. I'm not going to even try to recite the title. We just going to call it Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. book on racism.
Hey, ISIS papers is easier.
Yeah, the ISIS papers is a lot easier to pronounce. But my point is that as we talk about, you know, the conflict between men and women and how we relate to each other and ideas of what a good relationship is, we can't get it from social media and the television. We got to do what Sister Keisha was talking about, you know, go back and look at our family as the blueprint. You know, my mother had a successful marriage to her dying day. You know, my cousins Sandy and Renee. You know, my grandmother did too. You know, until my grandfather died when my mother was a little girl, but then she met my step grandfather Ernest. You know, it's funny calling my step grandfather. You know, it's my mother's stepfather, but we just call him my grandfather Ernest. You
Yeah.
know, was a good man. You know, I love and miss Ernest. You
Whoever
know,
did the job deserved the title.
I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
he used to tell us about slavery when we were younger. You know, because his grandparents were enslaved. So him and my grandmother had different views on the Yurugu. You know, she's more like Florida Evans. He's more like George and James. You know what I'm saying? They was honkies to him. You know, but rightfully so because what they did to his grandparents. You know, and he came up in the Jim Crow South where, you know, any white person can tell you what to do as a man. You know, so here we're always fighting for our position as a man. Yeah, that's my grandfather there. That's Pop Pop. That's my father's father. That is William
I
Bookman.
used to see him at UAM. I used to see him
Yeah,
at
that's.
UAM.
Oh no, no, he was never there.
Yeah.
No, no, not
Oh,
this
I'm
guy. He
sorry.
was
Man, he looked like somebody. I'm sorry,
right.
Taz. My bad.
Yeah. So that is my father's father there. That's my grandfather, William Bookman Senior. Because my first uncle, his first son is William Bookman Jr., who passed away. My uncle Billy Pye. Let me tell you, everybody who
Did you
knew
know him?
my uncle, yeah, yeah, I know him very well. I knew my grandfather. My grandfather died. I was 30. Yeah, I was 32. So I had my grandfather for
Oh,
32
okay.
years.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
and his brothers, me and my father. I had the opportunity to really sit and talk with my grandfather and ask him how did he meet my grandmother and why did they separate. That's my father and his brothers. My father in the striped shirt, and those are his. Well, three of them are living now. The one on the far left has passed away. That's my uncle Joe. He transitioned, and his daughter, my cousin Nellie, is the one who recently passed. You
Right.
know, so my grandfather, he's the sweetest man. Anybody who ever met him, strong man, strong. Like Will, like he's old school, old fashioned, good black man. You know, the kind we should aspire to be. Yeah, that's my father and my son, my two sons, my grandson, my father and my brother there. I come from a family of men, you know, so when people talk about, yeah, me and Little Tag, right before I went to the Hoop Scout, you know, when people talk about black men not being involved in a family's life, like I don't know that. I don't know that, Sister Keisha, Brother Black, because almost all of my friends I grew up with, I knew their fathers personally. And that's my cousin Mel. We call him Big Daddy. That's a good brother too, man.
Yeah.
Mel's a good man.
But remember something back then. I don't remember. Somebody did a lecture one time. Maybe it was at UAM. I don't remember where it was, but somebody once said in the 60s, a man stuck around till the kid was usually 6 or 7. In the 70s, they stuck around till probably 8 months of the child's age and coming to be. In the 80s, it was like probably like till the baby was born, and in the 90s, it was like basically a lot of our children is being born from one night stands and stuff like that. Baby. That's where the term baby mother got popular because it's like
Yeah,
we never even had a relationship. I ate it once and she got pregnant. I don't know that
yeah,
bird. You know what I'm saying? That's my baby
yeah.
mother. That ain't none of my girlfriends, none of my, neighbor. She just some, floozy I met and we got it on and there it is. Now he's 3. I ain't seen him in 3 years. That stuff.
And and that's so unfortunate because now we've been reduced to baby mothers and baby fathers. And one thing I always let my children know, because that's me and my sons there. That's my youngest son in the front, the big guy, my twin. That's my little twin right there. But we at his house in his backyard. See, little got in when I had on my chef hat. He's the smallest, the small with the striped shirt, right? But I always let my children know that they were made in love. I always share the story with them about what my relationship was like with their mothers. One of my daughters asked me, said, "Well, Dad, if you loved us so much, what happened? Why y'all didn't stay together?" I said, "Daddy was in love with the streets too much." And then I told her, I said, "Could you really see me and your mother as a couple?" She had to laugh. I was like, "No, no," because I was a young dude. I was always in the street, and her mother was a homebody. She always
Yeah,
went to
yeah. So
school.
total opposites.
Right thing with her life. I was just out there. I was outside for real. I was outside during the pandemic, so in the 80s and 90s, I was really outside.
I
When
ain't
the
scared
kids
of
say
no
now,
damn COVID.
we outside. But no, I always think it's important that you let children know that they're made out of love. Like even with my granddaughter Zuri, when I look at her, I always smile because I remember dating her grandmother. My ex, and we talked about having children. And I got a beautiful granddaughter out the deal. Not only do I have my granddaughter out the deal, but I get to watch her grow up and really be a part of her life. She was at the house Saturday night. My daughter brought my grandbaby over. We had a lot of family at the house. And it feels good because I always want my children to know that they're not mistakes. To your point, they weren't one night stands. It wasn't like I got drunk in the club one night, one thing
Yeah,
led to another, and now you here. Nah, you was part of a love experience, you know, at whatever phase of our lives we was in, whether teenagers or young adults, it was love. And I think it's important that our young people know that, because when we see how they run around and they don't know what love is, their idea of
yeah,
love is what people can do for them and not what they can do for people. Now, how can we help each other? How can we help each other grow? Because that's real love. Not that, yo, do this for me or you don't love me. And that's what we see is Sister Keisha talking about a lot of chatter. Because when you hear sisters talk about they looking for good men and what constitute good men, money always come into the picture. If you don't make this kind of money, you're not a good man. And that's by whose standards? Because you can have a millionaire who kicking your ass every night, or you can have a dude that work at KFC that treats you right and bring his check home every night. And some women opt for the former. They rather get their head bust by a millionaire than to get hugged on by a dude smelling like chicken. You know, don't.
No thanks. Shout out to the African village. I see this picture here with Dr. Ben.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We spent the day with Dr. Ben, Dr. Ray, Minister Vern, and the other brothers from the African Village Research and Culture Center. I'm gonna tell you, Sister Keisha, out of a lot of organizations, those are some good people. Brother Vern,
Yes,
his wife, Sister Tara, and all the other brothers, all the elders and people that are part of the village and got the village up and running, because they always looking to help. They always looking to help. I remember my first time I got introduced to the African village by Baba Sweets. He was always an elder in the hood, and me and his younger brother-in-law were real good friends. Who was killed he was murdered back in 1993. We all out together. We was outside and things went left. God bless my man Juicy, but Baba Sweets is his older brother-in-law. He would always drop jewels on us, talk to us about African history. Always just pop in the room like, "Hey, what y'all doing?" Drop a jewel on us and keep stepping. Never talk to us too long, not even more than 5-10 minutes. You know, and he introduced me to the African village. Invited me down there. I went down there one day and I just felt the love. And I said, this is what a black organization should feel like. You should feel welcome. You shouldn't feel intimidated. You know what I mean? It was a nice welcoming committee. It's like a church. You know what I'm saying? It's almost
it
like
is.
yeah, but
you ain't in
with
which
the
church, bro?
yeah, you know what
It
I'm saying?
was.
Yeah,
Shout out to Sister Amanetu. She said, "Brother Taz, you spit your kids out. They look just like you. Exactly. He can't deny none
yeah.
of them.
Look,
Ever.
I say they better or their mama gonna have an issue. My kids better look like me, or their mama gonna have some problems. Like who that little boy belong to? We're not gonna play this one. Jody might have been in the house while I was outside. Y'all know who Jody is. That's for the 45 and older. And my sister Keisha died. The young folks might not know who Jody is.
Jody is
Oh
that.
Lord, I
Jody
can't
is
with him.
that
Y'all see
dude.
this? I can't. If y'all want to join us, the link is in the chat. Click the link. Come on live with us if you want. If you want to share the love for those strong black men in your family. Here's Uncle Buddy right here. Shout out again to Aunt Pauline. And he's sitting outside of my house. And here he is with Sam. And Sam has transitioned last year. And so did Uncle Bruh. Uncle Dragon, you gotta pull up. Cousin Wayne, my brother over here. Like when they pull up, you just gotta be quiet. You gotta listen. You gotta follow instructions. You understand? And listen. Rowan knows. I mean, brother Tad knows how tall and how big my husband is.
It's no little.
He had to sit before them. Shout out to Uncle Dragon right here. But he had to sit before them. They wasn't playing. They wasn't playing. You want to marry who? All right, come on. Uncle Glenn. If you was on Pacific back in the days and you seen the rosters on Pacific, that's Uncle Glenn. He was the leader
Pacific
of the pack.
what? Pacific and what, Sister Keisha?
Across the street from the fish place.
What's that? What's
Is
not?
that Herkimer?
On the Ville?
No, Herkimer's on the other side of Atlantic. It's Herkimer, Atlantic, then Pacific.
Right across the street from the fish place where you buy the fish, the fried fish back in the days.
I'm trying to remember.
I'll think of it in a minute.
I used to live on Pacific in Clawson when I was a kid.
And the dress who had the weed spot over there, that's my family. That's my uncle.
That's what
That's
made me
him
act
right there.
like, hold on.
That's him right there.
That's when it was in the manila envelopes.
Yep.
Oh man, y'all going back like throwbacks right now.
For real.
You
Telling
telling
you,
these blacks
this is like the early 90s. Look at cousin Thomas right there. Tad no Thomas.
Yeah, that's my dude. We went to junior high school together. I was
And
talking
he's
about
sitting
Thomas.
right next to Uncle Jesse getting that counsel. You understand?
Yeah, that's my brother there, boy. Your cousin Thomas, that's my dude.
That's the grandparents.
Stayed in
My
touch with him.
grandfather kicked it all off. He set the standard. The standard.
That's your grandparents there?
That's my grandparents on the rooftop in Bed-Stuy.
Wow. Was that 50s?
I believe so.
Look like it.
I believe so.
Your grandmother looked like she in love.
Very much so. Very much so. And he set the standard of what manhood was in our family, or what it is to be in our family. And my cousins, they all know the line. They all know the line. Like listen, you can't come over here with the shenanigans. We always felt safe. We always felt at home. Anybody we was dating, you bring them around, they better be up to snap. Because if they wasn't, I feel sorry for you. I laughed at a lot of cousins who thought, they could pass some dude over.
That was when it was Crooklyn, right?
Huh?
That was when it was Crooklyn.
Always Crooklyn. It's still Crooklyn.
Yeah, Crooklyn. Okay.
Now, see what's funny on my father's
side. I've been there my whole life. What's that, bro? Tad?
Yeah, now I'm saying on my father's side, that's where all the men are.
Hello?
All the men. My mother's side is like me, Doggy, and a couple other cousins. We were the men. We are the men. That you got to come through. But on my father's side, my father had no sisters. Okay. He had 6 brothers. 6 brothers. 6 of them. And everybody know them. In fact, at my cousin's funeral, there's a brother named Big Un. That was Biggie's partner, right? He's the one responsible for signing Cameron and all of them, on Undies Entertainment. put out the movie with Ja Rule, Cookout. And me and him was talking, and he said, Tadpole, yeah, you know, that's what they call him. He said, Tadpole, your fathers in them are who raised me. He said, nobody played with them Bookman boys. He said, if you had a problem with one, you got to fight them all. And then not just them, but their friends and the cousins. Because my father have a lot of cousins. You know, my family is so big. He said, nobody played with your family. You know, so when we meet the females of the family, when they boyfriends come around and they husbands, you know, for the most part, a lot of them got good dudes, though. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of them got good dudes. But I wouldn't want to be on the other end. I've met my children, mother, family, and things like that, and it wasn't as rough as being part of my family. Because my family is mean, they strict, and they play too much. Because they make you think they really ready to beat you up, but they just start talking reckless. Yes.
Hey,
yes,
Tad, back then, maybe before 85, before the crack era, if you had like 5 brothers at least, you was automatic gang. That was your gang right there. Your brothers, especially if they was ill. You know what I'm saying? So I remember them days.
That's how we were.
A dude that had like more than 3-4 brothers. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying on my mother's side of the family, I'm gonna tell you what my uncles used to do on that side. They always bought us boxing gloves, no matter what the occasion was. Graduation, birthday, Christmas, you got boxing gloves. And they would get us in a circle in the living room, and we'd be in the house fighting. All of us, me and my other cousin.
And you better not be crying too loud. Don't cry too loud.
Nope. My Uncle Zay told me, to this day, he told me this earlier this year, maybe last year. He's like, Tad, remember that? He said, my money was always on you. He said, my money was always on you. But you know what? After it was done, right? Because like you said, Sister Keisha, you better not cry. And then after that, we got the speech. When y'all go outside, you better not let nobody hit your cousin or your brother. Somebody hit them, y'all better F them up. That was the speech we got. And we grew up like that to a blacksmith point. We became gang. You know, I remember those times people wanted to fight Doggy, and I was like, you can't fight my cousin. You can't fight my cousin because I'm going to hit you.
You have to fight me first.
Yeah. See, I used to want to
be all fighting.
I used to want to be a boxer. So I used to be fighting kids bigger than me. Kids I had no business trying to fight. That's why I used to get in trouble all the time because I didn't know how to turn it off. You know, but that's what the men on my mother's side of the family, you know, my Uncle Zay, my Uncle Jerome, a few other people, you know, what do you call them, Sister Keisha? Surrogate uncles. You know, men who were part of the family but wasn't blood. They were just there. Grew up with our parents. So that's Uncle such and such. You don't even become Mr. no more. You Uncle such and such.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And they taught us how to be defenders of the family and the community. And I'm gonna tell you something. Ain't no troublemaker like my grandmother. Because if my grandmother say get him, you got.
Oh, you got.
If grandma say get him, you got. Make no mistake about it. You know.
And look who stepped in the room.
The young lion. And sister, I think that's what's missing in our community. And I think enough sisters haven't felt protected by the dudes who should be protecting them. So they try to put that blanket on everybody and say, oh, nobody's protecting us, this, that, and the third. I was raised to be a protector. That's just who I am, how me and my family was raised. But Brother Ashe, welcome to the fold, brother. What's the word?
Chilling, man. Part of my tardiness, man. Working right now with the it's crazy how time flies, man. The International African Arts Festival is about to happen in about a week or two. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually gonna be working with some of the fashion designers doing a modeling show and all of that. So I'm gonna be working with them. So I'm excited for that. But we have rehearsals and all of that, you know. So, but it's coming up before you know it, and it's summer now, right? It's officially summer, right?
Yeah. As of Monday.
After what? No, I think it hit already. Right? The solstice hit,
the 21st, Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. So, you know, but it's still cold as hell out there. I don't know. They playing with the buttons, like the global warming. They messing with the buttons for real because it's 7. It was like 60 something the other day. I'm like, damn, I had to put the hoodie on in the
Wow.
summer.
Word.
That
You
was
know,
Saturday. It was
That is.
freezing. We was on a boat ride. I'm glad I wore a turtleneck. It was cold.
that's what's up. Yeah, man. But yeah. So I'm excited though. You know, African Arts Festival is always a good vibe, man. Shout out to the people at Restoration. I found out that they actually play a major part in promoting and putting that whole thing together, the International African Arts Festival. And they got some good performers this year too. So I'm excited. You know, we back outside. You know, seems like day after day, slowly but surely, New York is opening back up officially. You know what I'm saying? And Juneteenth weekend just passed. Yo, it was a whole movie in Brooklyn. I'm telling you, everywhere you go, it was an event, some kind of lounge, a party, a restaurant, a brunch, or something. Everything is happening for Juneteenth now. It's very interesting times that we live in there, you know, because I see a lot of people that still come and they go out and hang out and drink and chill and all that. And you ask them what Juneteenth is, and they like, oh yeah, you know, we going to the Juneteenth the party, right? The Juneteenth party, yeah, we go to the party, but they don't know the history of Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting times that we in with right now. All of these companies are capitalizing, you know what I'm saying, and making it marketable, palatable for people that don't even know anything about the history. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like people are just coming in and, you know, latching on to something that they have no idea what it's about, you know, and just partying and turning up and all of that. But don't get me wrong, it was a beautiful thing. It was a lot of people, a lot of black businesses I saw made money, you know what I'm saying, marketing with this Juneteenth thing. So it's a positive and it's a negative to it. It's just that we got to utilize that energy and make sure that we are controlling the culture, you know, versus these other people that's out here trying to control our culture. You know what I'm saying? H&M and all these big, these is European companies. What the hell they know about Juneteenth? You know what I'm saying? But
Nothing.
it's very interesting. But yeah, the whole weekend was crazy, man. It was like bars, black-owned restaurants, parties here, everywhere you turn in Brooklyn, it was a movie. And I went to this event called The Layout. Man, this thing was beautiful, man. It was in Fort Greene Park, actually. Y'all stomping grounds. And yeah, it was so many black people like just laid out picnic blankets, but they had a DJ and all of that. It's like back in the days, Brooklyn, we used to have a couple hot things that we used to do, like Labor Day parade. You know, if you go to Harlem, you got African American Day parade. You know, we got certain little things that we do that's hot. But now we're in an era where it's like every weekend is something big, and I'm talking about huge, not a little party or nothing, but like something huge. We just had the Biggie block party. We had the Spike Lee block party that be happening. We had so many different things. The Prince party, MJ party, all of these different, and it's getting huge and huge and huge. So it's like, it's just crazy. But I just want to make sure that all people are recognizing that we have opportunity. People that are Brooklynites or New York, period, we have a lot of opportunity, and we just got to galvanize that energy and direct it in the right way. Because if we don't, trust me, you're going to see these people that don't look like us with red, black, and green flags selling them out to you, you know, selling them and creating business. And you know, we still in the back playing the game after the game has ended, right, Tad? So, you know, we got to just, we on point. What you said, bro?
That's a fact. I ain't saying nothing. I was agreeing.
Yeah, man, but yeah, it was a beautiful thing, man. You know, so I ain't hating on that. We definitely just got to make sure we doing the right things. But yeah, man, you know, Juneteenth was also Father's Day. I know y'all was going in talking about the male figures and y'all lives and things of that nature. And you know, I definitely feel like you know, Father's Day is something. It's like a shadow. You know, it's like a little yeah, you get that, but you know, it's not as big as Mother's Day. And we love mothers, of course, but you know, it's a lot for fathers that are out there that are really doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? That are really fathers. You know, it's very important to show them that love, especially because black men, you know what I'm saying? We're not even used to getting love shown to us. We don't even know how to respond. You know what I'm saying? When love is shown our direction, we don't know how to respond. Even between black men with each other, with our brothers, you look at me and say, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like something, give me a compliment. I'll be like, yo, this dude is what he funny style. What do you do? He a rainbow crew? What it? You thinking all the wrong things, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't even give a brother a compliment, you know what I'm saying? Or it's gonna turn into a fight or something, you know. So we don't know how to accept that and things of that nature. That's something that we gotta heal and work on, you know. So coming from the sisters, it's very important that you know, we receive that when it's due, you know, because we know we got a lot of deadbeats out here. We got a lot of dudes that, you know, just really give up all responsibility. You know, just F boys out here. We ain't talking about them. So that day, Father's Day, when you hear that, people, y'all gotta like disassociate all of the F boys that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen a lot of women that were really butthurt. You know what I'm saying? It's a holiday for fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to be the father, the mother, and the father. Like it's ignorance. You know what I'm saying? There's so much ignorance, man, and we just gotta break that barrier and, you know, make it okay to show love to Black men so we can learn how to receive it again, and then we can learn how to give it again. Because how many people in your Tad? When I came in, I heard you saying your family, especially the men, is mad, you know, hardcore, and they seem mean, even though they probably got good hearts and all that, you know, but they hardcore. Yeah. Where's that stem from? You know what I'm saying? That stem from, look, you got to be tough as a man. You know what I'm saying? And you sometimes can't even show that love or that affection. How many of our family members or people that's Black men never even told their children they love them? You know what I'm saying? But they'll do other things. You know, they'll keep the roof over their head. You know, make sure the food is food on the table. Things like that. That's how they show it. But when it comes to actually giving a hug or giving a compliment to their child or telling their child, I love you, you'll never hear that, especially in a West Indian household. And the African American household as well, you know what I'm saying? That's very rare, you know. So when we peel back the layers on that, you got to understand it's because Black men, we got a lot of healing to do, you know what I'm saying? And it starts as well with women are the nurturers, the teachers, you know what I'm saying? So if anybody gonna teach Black men how to love, it's gonna be the Black woman, you know what I'm saying? She gonna nurture us and give us that energy. And if we're not getting that love and that affection and that appreciation when it's due, like I said, when Black men are really giving it up the way they're supposed to be and being responsible, and then they being responsible and they not getting that love and that appreciation, because that's all men really want. We just want to feel complete. You know what I'm saying? The way we feel complete is by feeling that we are a man and we are responsible and we are able to handle our business and do the things that we need to do, especially for our family and our loved ones. You know what I'm saying? But if you're doing these things and you're not getting that gratification, you're not getting that respect, that acknowledgement, then you still feel incomplete. You like, damn, how much more I got to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you running in the street, running for affection from other people, you know? So it's very important for the sisters to support. And, you know, Father's Day, I mean, you got a father, you know, hopefully, or you had one at one point, you know, so the sisters that's out there that really kind of throw shade, like we got to stop that immediately, man. It's a beautiful thing. And we got to have more events and more signs of showing love for the Black man, because the fact that this did happen on Juneteenth as well is something that really kind of overshadows Father's Day a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Unless you are very, very intentional about, you know, showing love to these men, and it could easily get overshadowed, because Juneteenth is a big thing. It's a big event. You talk about slavery, then you got, like we said, the marketing and so much tied around it that you might just get them a tie, get them a pair of socks and call it a day. Meanwhile, you taking Mom Dukes out to, she got to go to the 5-star restaurant, the spa, and she going shopping after that. You know what I'm saying? Pops, he ain't getting nothing. He ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, let's just keep that.
Me as a father, I don't want to do nothing. I want to be left alone. Yo, I kid you not, Father's Day, I pretty much slept almost the whole day. I just rested, and it felt so good. Bro, it felt so good. I think about so many Father's Day have passed. Because now, mind you, my children came over Saturday night because my uncles was in town for the my cousin's funeral and things, and they all were leaving Father's Day morning. So Saturday night, you know, we had a bunch of family at my house, and we had food and stuff like that. You know, my cousins, they cooked and brought food over, and my sister and my kids came over. It's funny calling them kids because they young adults now. They adults with their own children. So it's funny, but they came over and that was cool. And what I loved the most, everybody left at a decent time. I think like 11:30, 12 o'clock, everybody was gone. I was like, oh, I'm loving this. Because normally everybody be trying to stay like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm telling you. But yeah, I think and to your point, I was raised by my the men in my family. They was me, Ashe. But one thing he always did, and we still do, is always tell each other we love each other. Like, what I'm saying? We hug from the nephews, uncles, brothers, cousins, what I'm saying? Even with my sons, my brothers, my cousins, we all like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I love you, I love you, I love you. And we always do that because you never know when the last time you're going to see them. The way life goes now, you know what I'm saying? Especially coming out of this pandemic. And plus with us just aging, period. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all getting older every day, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. And before we know it, we become the elders. We're the new vanguard for the family. We have to teach the new generation our family values. Same ones we learned from our grandparents. Because sometimes if we don't uphold those, the young people will forget. And as men, we have to not just uphold it, but also enforce it. You know what I mean? So it's Father's Day. It was good for me. I had a good Father's Day weekend. I ain't gonna lie. My cousin got married on Saturday too, which was dope. One of my close cousins, my cousin Mook. So congratulations to him and his wife Courtney. They got married. It's just dope. You know what I'm saying? Because black love is here, but it's getting drowned out by too much foolishness. And I've experienced it all weekend, so it's a good thing.
That's what's up. So, we winding down. We got a half an hour to go. And again, um, for the viewing audience, you want to tune in next week. We got some powerful guests coming in. I'm gonna um, send my uncle off to the ancestors on Thursday morning, but I will be here Thursday evening for our guests coming in next week. I want to touch on, again, our favorite songs in music, our favorite genres of music. When I think about my uncles who are older in age and those who have transitioned, their favorite was James Brown.
Mm.
James Brown. I question your relationship in my family if you don't know nothing about James Brown. You better know the entire catalog. If you ever was at Uncle Dragon's and on Brenda House, you better know the whole goddamn catalog of James Brown.
Okay,
Every goddamn thing.
Keisha, I got a
Recorded
question
and
for you.
unrecorded. You know it.
Keisha, I got a question for you. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
hit you
brother.
with one. I'm from the ancestral spirits. You ready? What was the B side of this record as a single for as the little 45s back in the days?
Hmm.
What the B side was a song called Cold Blooded. What was the A side of that record? James
Um,
Brown. James Brown.
I'm not sure. I
Okay.
can't
Anybody
remember.
else? Now you want to take that?
Oh no, leave me out of this. You gotta ask me some
Go
crazy
ahead. What was
ones.
the A side? What was the A
It was
side?
Funky President.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Just
Okay.
ask it. Yeah. Okay. That's
Okay.
it. You go ahead.
Facts.
one of the
Uh-huh.
most
But
James Brown.
again, just hearing music and when family used to get together, to come together for, at Aunt so and so's house this weekend, or it's a cookout that weekend, or somebody's graduating, or somebody's coming home from the penitentiary, or what have you. Somebody starting a new business is always an event, and the music is what holds the family together. Listening to those classics. We listened to Ike and Tina Turner and all of that back in the days. You bet not touch that damn radio. You bet not, cause you in trouble. Going on family reunion. I remember one family reunion we went to down in Baltimore, Maryland. This is on my father's side of the family. But we were on a bus, and all the elders on the bus, and they listening to their music. And I think my cousin Tony put in Dougie Fresh,
Wow.
all the way to heaven, and it was a problem. It was a problem. But again, it's that love of music, that love of family that always keeps us together and holds so many stories in my mind. What about you guys?
Well, real quick, anybody remember Deborah Laws?
All,
What song?
all
Yes.
my love.
Very special.
Yeah, very
Yep.
special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think on that album, because it was a whole family of them. It was the Laws, Hubert Laws family, but they have one song called "Family" that she sung that I love so much. And what's so funny, right? Before my mother passed, like the year before that, I would keep playing it. And I said, "Mom, remember you used to always play this song, and it's called Family. Y'all ever get a chance, check it out. Hubert and Deborah Laws, but that would always remind me of my family because my mother used to play it around holidays. In the past
Mm.
couple of years, like a year before she passed, that I just started putting that song back in rotation. But that song always take me back to a better place. And I was talking to the brother A. Rashid. I think y'all familiar with A. Rashid, right?
Yes.
Um,
Shout
we
out to Hey Rashid.
Yeah, shout out to my brother, man. Cause he's on West Side Gun's album. The rapper West Side Gun from the Griselda Boys. He's actually on West Side Gun's album. If you listen to the intro and outro, that's him. He gets the credit and everything. But he and I was talking the other day, and he was like, "Yo, a lot of music in my life come from your house because my
Wow.
very musical."
Wow.
My mother and my stepfather always played music. They had two turntables. My mother had an open door policy for all of our friends. Even if we were on punishment, we could still have company. She was just like that. And in her room, stereo was blasting, radio's blasting. She's playing music. And that meant a lot to me because he's very artistic. But my mother was in love with house music, gospel,
Mm.
and she used to like the mix. She would always play a Dr. King speech with some kind of house music in the background, just mixing. Like, I swear, you really thought she was a DJ. People thought she was a DJ. And she kept a tambourine, supported everything that any of us ever wanted to do in terms of music. I played drums and a saxophone in school. She supported that. When I started rapping, she supported that. I thought she would tell me no when I was 14. I was like, Mom, my friend got a producer friend. Can I go to their house? She was like, sure. She said, just let me hear what y'all do when you come back. So I really couldn't curse on tape like I wanted to, but very supportive and very musical. She had an eclectic taste because if it sounded good, she was rocking with it. From house music to jazz, to gospel. Of course, she loved Luther. Luther was always on. Anita Baker, Sade. Um, yeah. So for my house, it was all genres. And so many songs will remind me of that time and space because when you go to people's house now, people don't even really play good music. If they play something, sometimes this is probably some ratchet stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that we really didn't rock to when we was young. Stuff that made us uncomfortable. Like the first time I heard Eazy-E, I was like, ooh. It was mad curses on the song, but we was just like, ooh. And I think it was my mother or my uncle's record. Word. Because she just loved music.
Remember Betty Wright and uh rapping not rapping Duke, the other guy that used to rap nasty. Remember that was nasty, man. That stuff is like
Marvin
PG
Seeds.
now. Yeah.
My mother used to play. What's her name? The one who made I Had to Say It.
Millie Jackson.
Yes, there
Billy
you go.
Jackson, yeah.
Millie Jackson. Millie Jackson, and she had Rapping Rodney record. She bought us Sucker MCs. When Run DMC came out, she bought me and my brother that record. Bought us Lottie Dottie. You know what I'm saying? So, like music for the black family is everything. It's everything. It's a certain. It keeps us in rhythm with each other, not just when we dance, but just in tune with the family. You know. But I'm gonna pass the mic to Blacksmith.
All
Get us.
right. I'm gonna just say a few songs. Matter of fact, peace out to Sister Marie Raymond. She keep coming and she said she had the Easy E tape.
Yeah.
Sister Noodle saying artifact shirt you wearing. Is that the artifact shirt you wearing?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go back to some of the music and I'm gonna come up in time slowly but surely. We got Loving You by Minnie Riperton. We got Family Reunion by the OJs.
Classic.
We got It's Family by Jill Scott. We got Before I Let Go by
Ha-
uh,
Frankie
Frankie
Beverly and
Beverly
Maze.
Frankie Beverly.
so many songs that we can refer to everything we talking about right now, and how it, puts us all together. Like, a party ain't a party if it ain't ran all through with them
Queen
songs.
Pen.
There
Queen
you
Yep.
go. See, there you go. I can use phrases from songs. Heads up, cause I'm popping some S.
That's
Uh,
Onyx. That's
okay.
Onyx. Or you could do J. Rue Come Clean when he sampled it.
There you go, my man Premier. Man, so many. I remember the first Bad Boys of hip hop that made "I'm Short and Sassy, My Love's Divine." My name is
Man,
K Love, and
Inspector
I'll blow
Gadget.
your mind.
Oh,
And she told me, there you go. Okay, Tad right there
Your
with
music
me for
box.
all of
Yeah.
that. You see what I'm
There's
saying?
from Brooklyn.
How about Brooklyn, Funky Fresh,
Cut Master DC.
Brooklyn,
Yeah,
Funky
Brooklyn in the
Fresh.
house.
Okay, we
Now
can
you
keep
talking to
going
hip hop
on and
connoisseur,
on.
brother.
I'm sorry, Tad. Go ahead.
Now I said you talking to a hip hop connoisseur. You see, you just say the lyrics, a couple of lyrics, and I got you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the Way to Heaven by Dougie Fresh. The
That's
show
right.
with him and the Slick Rick. Man, we could just go on and on and on. I'm gonna pass the mic to Ashe.
Yeah, man. Y'all need to, but wait. I hope y'all got your canes and everything, because y'all gonna need it. Y'all gonna need a walker with the 4 wheels.
Blacksmith, let them know that real hip hoppers don't need no canes.
I need a walker
B-boys
like
don't get old. B-boys don't age, brother. See, look, Ashe too young to know that
Not even
B-boys
a
don't
walker.
age.
Now y'all don't even need the walker. Y'all need the one with the little button that it's a I don't even know what you call it. It got electric. Y'all just press the button and you move like this. Yo, what up, Ty?
Yo, Keisha, you gonna let him insult us like that?
The shade is real. The shade is real.
Look, Ashe old enough to be put on punishment now.
Thank you, Ashe. Thank you for that.
It's interesting, we talking about music as well, because just today unfortunately we gotta get it together, man. Unfortunately another young rapper, very, very popular rapper, was shot up, and I just saw a little while ago they said that he's non-responsive. He's in a hospital. I hope he pulled through, but he's non-responsive right now.
What's his name?
A couple times. His
Lil
brother named
TJ. Lil TJ.
Lil
Yeah,
TJ, okay.
He's very popular. Like the Pop Smoke. He's from the Bronx, actually. If I'm not mistaken, he's from the Bronx. Yeah.
Don't get Keisha started.
But
I'm not saying nothing. Drinking water
Yeah,
and minding my business.
these young boys, it's just sad, man. These young boys, like, it's like we gotta find another way, because, like, yeah, a lot of us have been given the excuse, like, yo, it's cool, like the music, they shoot each other and all of that, blah blah blah. They talk about that in the songs, but the past that we given is okay. But they able to get their family out of the hood. They able to buy their mother a house with that. Oh, so it's all good. I support it. But now it's getting so worse that they getting these deals for talking about all this killing in the songs and all this gang stuff. And now they getting signed and getting money and becoming millionaires and buying their mother a house, and then they end up dying before they reach 30. You know what I'm saying? This brother is in his 20s. So if we get passes out based on the fact that people are getting money and able to move out the hood, we're gonna have to reevaluate that one, because they just dying. After they move out the hood, they still dying. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad, man. But go ahead. You want to say something?
Now I was gonna say what's crazy though is that this is something that Dr. Amos Wilson talked about, because we don't control the consequence or the benefits. And this is why it's hard for them to even take instruction from us right now. Because like you said, they're looking at the greater reward. None of them want to be a poor righteous teacher. And I don't blame them either. It's just that not enough elders around. But I remember in 2000, back in the year 2000, you might not have been born yet, Ashe, but the police, the police was going through the neighborhoods, like literally, and we talked about this on the show before, rounding up dudes, claiming them as gang members. And I saw this coming. I said, what they're doing is removing the men out of the community, and these young boys are going to be raised with no father figures. So now, like you said, he's 20 something, So even if he was born in 2000, he'd be 22 right now, right? So here it is, a dude could be coming out of jail from a 10-year, 20-year bid who really ain't got nothing but that jail story. And here these folks gave our young children millions of dollars to promote this message. And this is a problem. You know, I listened to Snoop Dogg talk on the Breakfast Club one morning, and he said he owed Auntie C. Dolores Tucker an apology. He said because him, Tupac, and all of them were too young to see what she foresaw. And that's what we're dealing with today. Snoop Dogg said that on a Power 105 interview, and I thought that was so dope because all of these dudes that we grew up listening to have now grown up and see the importance of what the elders were trying to teach us back then. And it's unfortunate now, all of these little artists are getting murdered and shot and killed. And this is it's just crazy. You know, I was talking to before you got on, I was telling him I was talking to Big Un, who was Biggie's partner. And I was, you know, just sitting there kicking it with him, asking him questions. And he was telling me that he said, man, they buried me with Biggie. He said, when they put Biggie in that casket, they put me in there too. I said, so what's your relationship with like Puff? He said, I ain't got no relationship with him. And it's amazing because Un is responsible for so much of the culture of the 90s and don't get his credit for it. But as I'm talking to him, all he wanted was dudes to thrive and get paid and get money, not for all the violence that you see right now. And this is why they block people like him or Dame Dash out the picture. Because anytime you're talking about empowering young people, young black people, they're going to have a problem with your message. But they'll give a young black person millions of dollars to talk about killing the ops and killing this one and killing that one. And this is done by design on how outside forces are now controlling black music. Because even in our R&B genre, name some modern groups. Groups can't even stay together because these people are in their ear. You don't need the rest of them. So every dude think he Eddie Kane now, showing up. Y'all ain't nothing without me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're constantly causing trouble amongst us. And prayerfully, our people will wake up. Look at Young Thug. Look at Triple X Tekashi, Triple Exestion, and one of my dudes who had a song with Fetty Wap. He got murdered a couple of years ago, broad daylight. Nah, my man Beans, not Chinks, not Chinks, but you know, my kids got a picture with Chinks because we was doing Forbes DVD Live. We had interviewed Chinks some years ago. You know, and to your point, Ashe, it is crazy right now. It is crazy because Young TJ is one of my homies' little mans. You know, I know so many people that are close to a lot of these artists. If not, I know a lot of these artists personally. And where we are, even with Biggie, God bless him, I had a conversation with him about the direction his music was going because, you know, but of course, I'm not paying him. He was like, he getting money. He going for the money. And back to what Dr. Amos Wilson said, until we start controlling the rewards and the consequences, our young people ain't gonna listen to us. That's why I see the value in what Tyler Perry was doing now and why they murdered Michael Jackson and Prince. Because Michael Jackson and Prince understood where the music industry was trying to take our people. And you think Michael Jackson and Prince are icons in our genre for black music. As much as we talk about black music, we can't talk about it without mentioning them too. But God, that's so
right. You hit it on the head, bro. Because Prince was still here right now. Ooh, man, he'd be running everything right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what he was trying to do right before they murdered him too. You know, just like Michael Jackson. You know, as soon as you about to really get that power and take control, they step in. You know, it's crazy. But we got to get off of this because I'm about to get off of this and go watch this versus that's happening right now. We're talking about black music. We got Mario versus Arion. I'm about to get on my knees and watch that joint. It's about to be a whole vibe. So black music. But now we got some good music still though. You know, like people say, oh, R&B is dead. Don't listen to none of this new stuff. Nah, it's a lot of really good R&B.
No, it's good. I'm saying there's no groups. There's really no groups.
No, you're right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people in general will say, oh, R&B is dead. You know, it's like all the R&B is like twerking music and love making music and stuff like that. But it's really good artists still around. It's just you got to search for them a little harder. You know what I'm saying? But there's some
Yeah.
real good R&B artists that's out there, you know, and there's some good conscious hip hop artists that's out there as well. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to do a little bit more searching. You might not find them on iTunes, you know, but you gotta spot something else. You gotta catch them other apps, man. But you know, it's just important though, like you said. I mean, the music really governs, you know, like, well, it don't govern it, but it's a big part of our overall culture. You know what I'm saying? Wherever the music goes, if you look at the music, you can see like the reflection of where our people are at through the music at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because we always gonna put our soul and everything that's going on in the music. You can't even have a dance song without having some level of soul and spirit to it. You know what I'm saying? And the dancing and the spirit, you know, that's connected. You know what I'm saying? From the Agunguns and all of the deities and all of that. You go to Ghana right now, you see them out there playing the drums when they have their spiritual, you know, significant events. You know, they out there dancing. They out there playing the drums and all of these instruments and things of that nature. So it ain't no difference. You know, it's just about the energy that you channel in the music that you make and what you decide to listen to. That's going to be what you manifest. So, you know, Black Music Month is definitely, I mean, you know, Music Month is cool, you know, but ain't no music without Black people. You know, we already know that as a fact. Whether we already inspired them to make it, whether we did the beat, or whether we ghost write for somebody else,
or whether they just
exactly, or whether they just straight stole a song like we seen on what was that, Temptation, all of so many people, Little Richard,
Elvis Presley.
You know, Elvis, and they got an Elvis movie coming out right now. And you know, I don't know if y'all saw the trailer, but they try to make it like he's not a racist, like he liked Black people, when we know that ain't true. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna say for Black Music Month, man. You know, I mean, I enjoy it all. I enjoy all of it, you know, but at the same time, we know that what you listen to, you programming yourself, you know, so if you go listen to some crazy low-level music, you got to balance that out and listen to something that's going to uplift you and inspire you to be better as well. So that's all I got to say. I know we got 5 minutes left. Y'all want to close it out?
Shout out to everybody on the check-in. I saw some people making some lists. Even today, as far as R&B is concerned, you got some great artists out there right now. As Ashe said, I love her.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Hey Keisha, can we do a little segment, like 30 seconds of us each just throwing out artists of people who are around today or like recently, and say what you listening to, what's in your what's on your YouTube.
Absolutely. We're gonna start with you. Go ahead, kick it off.
Okay. There's some artists. Most of the artists that I love today that are contemporary, I'm talking about. There's one named Gwen Bunn. Gwen Bunn is crazy. What's the one that made Shea Butter with J. Cole?
Ari Lennox.
Yeah, Ari Lennox. Janae Aiko. I forget her first name. Something McCann. She made a song with Snarky Puppy called Da 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 Da. You know, I hope all y'all people get exposed to it. I post a lot of these songs on the Neo Soul pages that I'm on. There's so many great artists out there. Bilal is one of my favorite artists. He performed in Brooklyn plenty of times. Yeah, his first album is crazy. I mean, I would suggest my words right now. Go back and check that album. It's from '99. It's the one with Soul Sister on it.
Yeah, called Firstborn Second.
If you want to find it easy, it's the one with that album is one of the craziest albums ever. Crazy.
What's your favorite song on that album?
Love Poems.
For me, it's Sometimes.
That's a fire. Yeah. That's a fire.
Which one?
Love Poems, Sometimes, and the other one, Black Turns to Gray. That's the same album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fire joint right there.
Right. We got Donnie. Donnie, he's from Atlanta. Many others. I'm done. Whoever's next, go ahead.
Hold up. You said Donnie.
Donnie, yeah. Not Donnie Hathaway. Donnie.
I know Cloud9. Donnie sing Cloud9.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. You got me, brother. You got man. You on my list, brother.
I listen to music, brother.
Trying to play you, Tad? That what happened?
That's my favorite joint from Donnie, Cloud Nine, where he's singing about black hair.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, I'm saying
Whisper
for the audience.
clouds and let it rain.
Yeah. I think all the new artists you named I rock with, but I still listen to a lot of old artists, a lot of classic people. You know, Stevie's always gonna be there. Donny Hathaway, Luther.
Oh, no, we need some new people, bro. We need to
It
hit
was
some
going
new
good,
people.
Tad. So Tad said
No,
Stevie. Everything was going good.
Sister Keisha hate my man Stevie. I don't know.
Ty bringing
Right?
his
But
walk out again. God damn, bro.
no, what I'm trying to teach you out here is culture, young brother. Culture. We don't want to hear that boobity boop stuff y'all listening to. You know what I'm saying? That's why you operate on low frequencies, brother. We're trying to get you to listen to Johnny and the Soul Stirrers and Mighty the Joy.
Hey, Tad. Is Ashe listening to Chief Keef?
Yeah, right. Ooh.
Chief
Hold
Keef
on,
and Little
Sister
B.
Marie. Hold on, Sister Marie. I like some things that Stevie sing, but after a while he gets on my damn nerves. It just
He is
it
the
just
best.
Sister
it,
Keisha too hard for Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder too soft.
it's certain things.
Sister
Actually,
Keisha want DMX.
for real.
He wants some rough stuff.
I want Stevie mixed with DMX. We need a remix. Ribbon in the Sky remix. Hey, what?
What? Ripping where? But you know, and for me, I get it now, like, because a lot of the artists you name, right, Brother Blacksmith, I only know them through my daughter. Because just like with our parents, there was a cultural difference because the music speaks to where we were a certain
You know,
time.
you listen to Bruno Mars.
Who that?
You listen to Bruno Mars.
Rock to Bruno. But he's really not, because you think Bruno, I don't consider Bruno Mars, anybody older than 10 years, it's hard for me to call them new artists. You know what I'm saying? Bruno Mars been out for like 15 years now. But I do like his stuff, you know what I'm saying?
I like it.
What's that? So Silk Sonic. Him and Anderson .Paak. I like their album. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so much good music. It's hard to even, you know what I'm saying, get it all together. That's why you see Blacksmith was saying some off the cuff artists that people may have never heard, and I'm like, nah, I rock with them. I like good music. You know what I'm saying? And I don't always equate new with good. Your music got to stand the test of time, because like, it's like right now the song could be hot and people don't know the difference between a hot record and a good artist. You know what I'm saying? So an artist could have a hot record and people like, yo, you don't rock with him? Be like, yo, he corny. And people won't see that until they buy the album and be like, well, damn, I only bought it for this song. I thought and it's not. So my thing is, you got to stand the test of time. Kanye, I knew Kanye was going to be around for a minute when I heard Through the Wire. When I heard that song, I said, yo, this dude is a genius. Literally spitting through a wire, but sample Shaka Khan. The beat was dope. The lyrics was hot. But then when I got the background to the story of it all, I'm like, yo, this is genius. He's literally spitting through the wire. And he said it wasn't talking about coke and birds, more like spoken word. Spoken word, as you know, Ashe, you a spoken word artist. You know that's like hip hop, but it's on a more positive vibe. So here, this dude talking about spoken word, but he around a bunch of quote unquote rapping drug dealers. So he was carving out his own identity, not trying to be like them, which let me know he has staying power. A lot of new artists, I don't see it because I don't know the distinction between them.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them really sound so much alike. They don't have their own voice yet. Once they get their own voice, then we could determine if they really dope or not. So that's why I always go back to those who put their stamp on it. Like a Nipsey Hussle, when he came out, everybody thought he was like Snoop Dogg till he put out more and more music and people got to identify who he was. Even with Biggie, when Biggie first came out, we all said he sounded like Chubb Rock because Chubb Rock was the hot artist at the time. But he kept working, got his own voice, you know. So that's how I judge an artist with staying power too. You know, so there's so many dope artists that we have, even people without record deals. Because I'm quite sure each of us on this panel and people in the audience know talented people that should be out there, that the world should know. I was just fortunate enough to literally know Biggie, because I promise you, that we knew if he ever got a chance, he would be big. Never knew he'd be arguably the biggest person, you know, one of the greatest in hip hop, but we knew he'd be a force to be reckoned with. And that's the kind of stuff I grew up with. Grew up with him, grew up with Foxy. You know what I'm saying? So many artists who had staying power because I knew they was dope before the world found out. So when I hear new artists, it's hard to impress me because I'm from that. I'm from that. For real, for real. In fact, speaking of Bilal, I met Bilal before, but I met D'Angelo before he got big. You know, he came to the block to get some weed. You know, smoked a couple with us back in the days with our man Lex. And next thing you know, D'Angelo was out there. He's like, yo, you see my man blowing up. You know, so that's why it's hard. Because for me, what music has done for me, not just the songs, but knowing a lot of these artists personally or meeting them along my travels in life gives me a little different spin on music. Like even meeting Erica. I met Erica with Dr. Khalid when she first moved to New York. What's the chances of Erica even moving to New York from Texas, having that dope ass album that came out when nobody was even singing about the stuff she was singing about?
Yeah, man.
You know, so that's what I look for in artists, the uniqueness and the talent. You know, be yourself. A lot of people now is not too original. That's why, and I'm gonna pass the mic, but that's why I was going back into the groups, because you don't have a New Edition, you don't have a Jagged Edge, definitely don't have a Boys the Men, the Temptations, like where brothers work together and sisters work together. Because Brownstone was dope. Brownstone with 5 Miles to Empty, Jay with Don't Walk Away, SWV with Weak and all that stuff. Like it's hardly even any groups. So what does that say to the psyche of Black people working together? But when we start knowing the music industry, how they always trying to pit people against each other, you could just watch Unsung and hear the stories of people dividing the groups. People always trying to come and divide the groups. Word. But Sister Keisha, anything you want to add on to that?
No, you rocking and you killing it. I'm gonna play a clip in a minute. Go ahead, brother Ashe.
Yeah, Ty just want the groups. He want them that doo-wop and all of that stuff. You know that.
Yeah.
You gotta know your moves. I want them to know
Yo, Ashe is foolish. Hey, Ashe is like Ashanti tonight. He's foolish.
Oh, he have to spin with it in the slide, and then you gotta call the rain down together. That's why you can't do that.
Because Ashe want to be out there with his underwear showing, with them young boys with tight jeans and oversized sneakers.
And Fred the Godson behind him.
Ain't nobody behind me. Nobody behind me. Yo, let me tell y'all.
God bless Fred the Godson. God bless him.
Let me put y'all old people on, man. It's a lot of great young artists.
I know Marion and the Marion ain't the great artists you talking about.
They are great, but they not contemporary. They are great. They great if they doing the verses. Shoot, a lot of artists don't do that. Anyway, no, contemporary. We talking contemporary, right? So, my favorite woman contemporary artist is actually this. I don't know if y'all heard of her, but her name is Alex Isley. She's actually
love Alex.
Yeah, she's the niece of Ronald Isley. She's the daughter of the other Isley brother. So she's a daughter of the Isley and the niece of Mr. Biggs. But she's
what's her name?
Alex
Okay.
Isley. Alex Isley. She's the best right now. Like her voice, and then her writing skills is on point. So check her out, Alex Isley. She's amazing. I'm almost cursed there. She's amazing. She's my favorite. She's my favorite right now. I love R&B. If y'all don't know, one thing about me, I love R&B. When I'm winding down after I leave the gym and I listen to my reggae and all my hardcore rap and all of that, when I come in the crib, like my instance, I'm R&B all day. So that's what I love. So Alex Isley, I love her. As far as the brothers, contemporary, I think the new contemporary artist that got it on lock is Lucky Day. I don't know if y'all heard of him. Lucky Day.
I've heard of him.
Lucky Day is off the chain. Both of he got 3 albums. All 3 of them is fire.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Lucky Day been out for a minute too.
Yeah, but he ain't been out that long though. But he got 3 albums though. But he contemporary. He ain't been out more than 10 years. but
Huh?
he ain't
No,
been
but at
out on
least
it.
five. But at least five.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you could press it. You could press play and not even hit skip on his albums. That's how fire they are. Lucky day. But right now I'm actually listening to Giveon. I don't know if y'all heard of that brother, Giveon. He's amazing brother, and he actually has an album that's dropping out tonight at midnight tomorrow. So check that out. His new album, Giveon, fire. And also, I gotta tap in a little bit. Everybody's talking about Beyonce. I think she's dropping tomorrow. She's not contemporary, but she's dropping a new album. I believe it's tomorrow. Everybody's talking about it. I heard the new song. It's fire. I ain't gonna lie, but I didn't know. It wasn't until afterwards I found out that she had the big trans dude on the song. I didn't know. When I first heard the song, I'm like, yo, this is a banger. It sounds fire.
Trans dude singing on the song?
No, she got a clip, an excerpt of some dude that's a big famous trans dude, and he's talking like on the song, like saying little background stuff. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
Big Frida, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
it, Ted.
That's what it is.
She used Big Frida in her joint a few years ago. Remember Sister Keisha? In the video.
The Black Panther one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't remember the
It
name.
was like 10 years, right?
We see Beyonce's agenda. We definitely see it, but I ain't gonna hold you. The song is fire though. The song sound hot. But you know why? You forced to like it? Because right now, and this is very interesting right now, a lot of like when it comes to R&B and hip hop, a lot of house influence is happening right now. So her new single is a house single. It's R&B, but it's a house single. It's a beat. That beat is house. Then Drake just put out an album a few days ago, I think last week. That entire album is house beats. No rap beats, house beats. Literally a full Drake album with house beats. So something is happening right now. And I know as we talking about contemporary, another person y'all should look up is K Tronada. He's actually a DJ producer. But he got a very popular song with her and his house. He makes like house kind of beats, electric kind of house. That's all he does. And he collaborates with big artists and he puts music out like that. But K Tronada, but I think he kind of set it up with the contemporaries with this house vibe. And now you got Drake made a whole house album. Beyonce new single is house. It's a trend that's happening right now, So I am mad at it because I love house music as well.
But you know what that is, right, Ashe?
What?
That trend? That's the alphabet's music. House.
I heard about that.
They really love that music.
But they love it, but they didn't create it though.
No,
we discussed that the last time we was on.
I'm saying
how that came about.
Exactly.
They love that music.
Exactly. So we got to be very careful about that because
that's what the influence is. Because
I say he's trying to make a point.
No, I'm saying what they doing is crossing the culture because you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it.
No. I see what you're saying.
And that's probably why she got Big Frida on her joint too. Because now you can't like the music and not and hate the people, even though it ain't about hating the people. It's about what they call the quote unquote intersectionality. Because back in the days there was a club called The Garage, DJ by Larry Levan, and everybody know that's where all the fun folks used to go. Because my mother and my stepfather used to always go there, and she loved music, and I met Larry Levan's brother, who was I think he passed. God bless.
Hey, Brother Tad, real quick. Brother Tad, I used to go to PG, and it was mostly gay on Saturday and mostly straight on Friday, for the most part.
And what night you went?
I wasn't old enough to go. Who
I went on Monday just to look at it and wave.
No, but I'm saying what I'm saying is that a lot of times when people don't know the roots of a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, they could start switching it, braiding it in together. Because house is dope. House is dope, but in my generation, once that came on, that's mostly who you seen hit the floor. It's like you either a real dancer or the fun boys came through. Or some dudes, because the women would get on the floor and then they get on the floor to dance with the women. Because dudes don't even really dance no more. They dance with each other now, these little dudes. I don't get it. Dudes dance with each other.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, and it's the same thing with what we talking about. We come a full circle with the holidays. They're being direction in a direction that it's not started with. the music is going in a totally different direction. Whether we talking about hip hop that started positive and ended up negative, or if we talking about house that's going into the rainbows. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't like it, but we got to be very particular and explain history properly. Because if that's the case, and they could do that with that, they could do it with any goddamn thing, switch it up.
Well, that's what they have been doing.
Might be a rain. You never know. 10, 15 years from now, they might have us as a rainbow goddamn show. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? But,
because God bless Darren Stills.
Songs that I like a lot is "Girl, I House You." That's brothers talking about girls. "Girl, I House You."
But did you see them later?
There ain't nothing funny about that song.
No, but he's a cross dresser now.
Stop it, Chad. He ain't no cross dresser. I know him personally.
Hold up, Sister Keisha, am I lying?
No, that was
He telling the truth. He telling the
Sister
truth.
Keisha, am I lying?
Oh, shit.
Makeup and everything. Baby Africa Bambaataa.
Yeah, I know him personally. I talked to him about that. Let me tell you what he said. I'm gonna give it to you straight from his mouth. You ready?
Wait, what's his name? What's his name?
Baby Africa Bambaataa. He was the light-skinned dude of the Jungle Brothers.
Baby Africa.
Yeah, and the other one was Mike G. That's my
and Sammy B. You can't forget Sammy B and Baby Chris, who grew up to be Chris Lighty.
Okay, there you go, from the Bronx.
Well, Browski, bragging and boasting. Come on.
All right, we already know. But for Ashe, let me tell Ashe why he did that. And he did do that, but he was trying to expose how hip hop was being feminized. So he did that like as an outcry and in a video to expose, to say like, yo, he got mad kids. He got at least 5 kids, bro. I know him personally. I met his queen, all that. So, I don't know what he do when I'm not around, but I've been to enough of these shows all over the country to know what I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never, and he told me that himself. Huh?
Wow.
He only told you that because he knew you support straight black pride. Well, brother, I put the makeup on to show how. I put the dress on because it went with the heels that matched the makeup. I was sending a message, brother. let me say something. Let me say something, brother Blacksmith. I still rock with the Jungle Brothers.
Okay, good.
Let's be clear. But what I'm saying is like Ashe said, that song "I House You, Girl, I House You," off the first album.
Right.
Because remember, back in the days in hip hop, you always had to have a crossover record. Either had to be dance or it had to be some R&B mix kind of stuff.
Yeah. Right.
You always had to have a crossover record, and definitely had to have one dedicated to your DJ alone. Because remember, they had Sammy B's on it. Sammy B. Every B and Rakim had Chinese Arithmetic. EPMD had K Solo on the DJ Caleb Boss had his own joint. I'm telling you, I was there. I remember all this hip hop, and that's why I could critique it and watch how they transform it right before our eyes. Because it starts with a "Girl, I House You." Next thing you know, you got on makeup and being Baby Africa Bambaataa. What did you do to get that name? We know who Africa Bambaataa is now.
Woo! Oh, that's a whole other topic, bro.
That don't take nothing away from the Jungle Brothers.
That's a whole nother topic.
What I'm saying is, growing up in the hood, knowing certain genres, if you go into a party, you ask what kind of music they playing based on the DJ that's gonna be there. If it's a house music party, you know what kind of, you put on your big stomp shoes, you wear your paisley shirt, your polka dots, and you're gonna get with them preppy, musty girls from college. It was a different crowd. Right? If you go in the Flatbush.
Let me ask you a question, Tad, real quick. What kind of music are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about house. I'm talking about
okay. No, I wanted to ask. Stop there, real quick. The reason why I say there was a time before it became house, warehouse music based in Chicago, Illinois. It was club music, and that was when it was coming from the PG and from the New York scene. Because we got to remember, Frankie Knuckles from the Bronx. Was rocking with Larry Levan and all that. When I guess he couldn't get into that crowd over there, he brought all that to Chicago, and then it
hold
came back.
Hold it.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
The illest DJ on the planet, Brooklyn's own DJ Lance.
That's right.
He was a pioneer.
Lance passed away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
COVID.
Oh yeah.
When?
Yeah.
Oh,
DJ Lance.
Yeah,
snap.
right before
Oh,
Daytime Island.
wow. Oh, man.
Brooklyn rock with DJ Lance. Brooklyn rock with DJ Lance. Brooklyn rock with DJ Lance.
Wow. I
Definitely. You
didn't know.
can't. Yeah, he passed
So,
away in
Sister Keisha, that's
2020,
what I
I
mean.
believe.
Depends on who the DJ was, determined whether you was going to that party or not.
Exactly.
Anytime
And
DJ Lance was doing a party,
where Brother Peace at? I think Brother Peace is not in the chat no more. But he could tell you all of these different genres, like house and all of that. DJ Lance and all of them kicked it off. That's where it come from. That's where
Yo,
it come from.
I was gonna say real quick, Keisha. It's funny because everybody used to love Soul Summit, and year after year, Soul Summit right there in Fort Greene Park. Now I saw a video this year. It's coming again. Soul Summit is happening again, and guess what they got? They actually
They got the switch hitters now.
They marketing Soul Summit as a rainbow.
because that's what it was. That, I mean, everybody went, but most, I'm telling you, that group, and they doing it at Weeksville.
On top of that, yes, I heard about that.
That's where they going. They taking, you right, Ashe. They taking it to Weeksville.
Wow.
Weeksville.
I know Ashe mentioned it from last time. He likes to hear live music sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
So last week, my sister treated another sister and myself out to this show at the Williamsburg Hotel, and it's called Jazz by Candlelight. And some of the songs that we mentioned tonight, they did a rendition of, right? Anita Baker, Maxwell, they did Jill Scott, and it was a mostly all female black women band, right? It's one brother in the band, mostly black women, and they were on fire. So we're gonna listen to this clip real quick, some live music, then we come right back out. We'll close out. So it was a nice show. They did a nice rendition of various music. So summertime is coming. You're gonna have a lot of live music events. You know, if I were you, I would try to catch some. If you can, check out these intimate boat rides that they're having with various R&B and hip hop artists. You got Wingate is no more, I believe. But you have the sound stage in Coney Island where they have the free shows. Wingate used to be a staple back in the day. I mean, you got to see everybody. Tony Braxton, Curtis Mayfield. You got to see Diana Ross. You got to see everybody.
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer. You know, for free.
At Wingate.
Yes, at Wingate.
Hey, Keisha, what's up with these light-skinned dudes tonight?
I don't know.
We gotta form a team somehow.
Tonight, I'm like this every night. You better tell him.
Right?
Every night I'm like this.
Oh, before we go, family, we gotta talk. I gotta mention this for everybody in New York City area. Today, Supreme Court struck down New York State gun carry and conceal. For those of you who don't have a license, get one now. Apply now. Apply now. I'm telling you. It's going to take you about 8 months before you get it. Those of you who have your license already, it's time to reach out to the office and tell them you want to switch it to a carry and conceal. Y'all better leave Sister Keisha all the way alone now. I'm telling you. But we about to close out. Brother Black, your final thoughts and comments.
Final thoughts and comments. From what I understand, like Ashe was saying a few days ago on the solstice of the summer of June 21st, 2002, supposedly Nasara Jasara was signed into law, and we're supposedly all sovereign citizens of the world now. This is supposed information. Don't quote me. The information is out there. You use your discernment and decide for yourself. I'm just putting out that information. Y'all already know me. My name is Blacksmith on this show. That's the name my books is under. But my name is Flavius Jones on Facebook. Get at me. I ain't got my blog back, but I'm about to get it back on and popping hopefully soon, hopefully in the month of July. I love y'all. I love everybody on the panel. We was foolish tonight, and it's all good in the hood. Honor black men, honor black women, honor black music, and honor God. Peace.
Ashe. Love you too, brother. What family? Hopefully hold on. Hopefully we inspired you to go out and go listen to some music that take you back to a time that was simpler, where you felt a little more safe. In fact, I want you to check out on YouTube. There was a man who had Alzheimer's, was kind of catatonic till they played some music from his childhood, and the brother started speaking again. It opened him up. Music has healing powers, and we know we all need a healing. So hopefully you was inspired by something you heard tonight. So it's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, it's always better days ahead. Brother Ashe.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, man, I'm still waiting for you to let us know when Jafar and Mufasa is coming back, bro. Let me know when Jafar and Mufasa is coming back. You heard? Because you saying that. I'm waiting for Jafar and Mufasa. You heard? Let us know when they coming back.
We about to mute our shade mic.
Anyway, listen, I'm joking, but music, man, music, please listen, support the good music that's out there right now. You know, support the people that actually are not complaining and just trying to make a change and make positive music and put it out there. There's a lot of them out there, and they got the same complaints that we have. You know what I'm saying? Because of the industry that's only putting out the stupid music, you know. So it's our job to really go out there and support these new contemporary artists that are really artists, you know, really perfecting their craft and making beautiful music. So Cash App, whatever, subscribe, follow them. Like, make sure you're doing whatever you can. Go to their live shows and support these artists, man, because this is the next generation. If we keep going, and we remember the music down south, the ATL music, it got crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then we went into the trap music. Then we went into the drill music. You know what I'm saying? What's next after drill music? How more violent is it going to get? You know what I'm saying? So what's the next step? So it's up to people like us to really make a change and support the artists that are really trying to do good. So with that being said, brother Ashe SJ, always remember, true courage is knowing how to suffer. And right now, I got to go watch Omarion, so I'm about to be out of here, y'all.
Uh-oh. You don't want to cut his Omarion's, huh, now? Don't start now.
Ashe gonna go play B2K when we get off. Just
like bum, bum, bum. That's my song.
Help him, Lord, help him. That's all I can say is help him. Again, family, we thank you all for tuning in with us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. Share this. Hit the like. We definitely appreciate it. Again, next week, our guests, Dr. Mwalimu and Ya Baruti, will be joining us as we continue this conversation with Black love, Black relationships, and Black education. Y'all stay Black. See you back here next week on the Brooklyn Bridge, family. Till then, we out, y'all. Good night.
Peace.